Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to Demario Investments, where we strive to be some of the best traders in the world, hire the best, and teach and educate people to trade as we do. This is going to be a short video because I haven't really uploaded anything yet. Our firm kind of operates very small right now. It's been recruiting through primarily Discord, people that are very interested, and people who are committing a lot of their time to trading. Now, that aside, I don't want to get into all that right now. If anyone wants more information, just let me know below or hit me up on Discord. I'll link it all below. But this is my outlook for the upcoming week. These are all potential trades. I just have them all here so I can just show you guys what we look at. I always start by looking at the dollar index just to see where the primary bias is going to be for the market. Upon looking at this, we can see that we've been within this channel right here for a while. Just from looking at this, we can tell dollar is probably going to drop to down here, potentially taking out these lows here. And just so you guys know, we do trade institutionally as well as we trade institutionally using retail. Okay, so it looks like we're in an uptrend here, but for the most part, we are bullish. There's no reason this bullish trend is over yet, and we're probably going to continue dropping on a lower time frame. Currently, about yesterday or so, we were within, if I use this replay, we were in, I think we were here when I called out what was going to happen. We saw this. This was the range we were kind of trading in. Within that range, this little line here, you can see is the equilibrium. It's the 50% of that. So for the dollar index, what you'll notice and what we teach is that price likes to respect the equilibrium of it. As you can see, it came up, came down, bumped off it, came up here, took out these equal highs right here, and then continued to drop below, and now it was respecting it. After this all happened, we knew we had a big area of imbalance right here, or it's a fair value gap, whatever it is you guys have learned or want to or know. This right here was my prediction for the next few days. It was to come up here, just test this area, or just fill this area in, and then continue dropping potentially to these equal lows right here. We don't know if we'll go through them, but we can anticipate a drop to at least there. Then what we saw price do is it fluctuated a bit, came up to fill the imbalance, never touched this, but that doesn't matter. We don't trade the dollar index, we watch it. So there we go. We presume that it's going to go down, and this is the live. So we did see this move up, and now we're watching for this move down. So our biggest anticipation right now for price on the dollar, at least, is to see it come up to fill this imbalance, maybe even hit this area of what is now considered resistance, and dump through this area of imbalance, through this area, and potentially even go lower. So we are very bearish on the dollar. So if we're bearish on the dollar, then what we can expect is for USD pairs where USD is not the base to be going down, and where USD is the base to be going up. So what we should see is USD CHF going down. So what we want to do is look for bearish signals on it, and we want to see odd USD and gold USD going up. Of course, I look at many other pairs, but these are the ones I analyzed. So just looking at this right now, we can tell there's probably retail traders trading this up. Potentially, we also saw that there were a lot of people trading here. So these equal highs seem to tell us that on a lower time frame, if we look at this, there were a lot of people trading to the downside. So this is actually what I love to see. So if we just cut this out, go like to a 30-minute, you can see that, you know, price came down, created the zone. People were probably trading off this, came up again, perfect engulf. People were trading off that, created another double top. People were trading off that, and this move here pretty much got a lot of people into the market to want to take shorts. So everybody, usually retail-wise, were trading shorts off of this area right here, with their stop losses potentially right above this, and they were aiming for the downside. Now, you can trade like this, and sometimes it'll work, sometimes you'll be in profit, but most of the time you'll get stopped out and you'll lose. And that's why we like to find the very high probability setups here at Demario Investments. So what I can see already on this 30-minute is that there's a huge imbalance here. Highly likely this gets filled. Of course, there's some people that are probably trading like this, but even that would end up screwing them. So if we watch what happens, we have price, again, touch it. This is perfect. This might have taken out some people, and now all of a sudden people are starting to lose money. They're getting taken out. That just probably took out people that traded anywhere inside this imbalance with their stop losses, maybe even had it above. See what keeps happening. Okay, so we came off it, and boom. This was probably the last move before people... This is where a bunch of more retail traders also decided to short. Very highly likely. Stop loss maybe up here. So now there's a lot of fear and panic in the market at this point. If it goes any higher, pretty much everybody that's been trading to the downside is going to be taken out. So there you go. Everybody was taken out. And we see price play around and come right back down. So if you're a retail trader, you'd see this and you wouldn't know what happened to your positions, but you would have been taken out. Now, with that all in mind, the way we trade here at Demario Investments is what we have here is what I just showed you. This is where all those people were trading for shorts. Seeing all this, shorts. There was that little beautiful movement here, shorts. Once we took them all out, and as you can see, fill this huge imbalance, we know that the price can most likely be kept under this area. Plus, we are short on the dollar index, right? So if we think that the dollar is going to pull back just a little bit, they fill this imbalance and then drop hard, we can assume by that way of logic that, first of all, a lot of people are buying here, most likely. So this is already a trap that's going to be beautiful for retail traders. Also, if we zoom out, if we zoom in, what we'll see is on the 2-hour and probably even on the lower time frames, we have these equal lows. So we know a lot of people are trading off these areas right here. So there were people buying here, people buying here, and there's potentially people that are afraid of missing out. So they are buying already over here, trying to catch this move up past the highs because they think we're in an uptrend. So we're going to go as high as we possibly can. Many are going to stay in the trades. Some people bought down here. So their stop losses are maybe just below these lows, maybe even below these lows. We don't know, but these are equal lows, so probably here. Some people got into the market here. Some people were scared and got in the market here because they wanted it to go up because they saw this smaller trend line right here. So basically what you can anticipate is that a lot of people are buying here. If we go look at the community outlook for USD CHF, just so we can take a quick look at what people are doing. Yeah, so as you can see, USD CHF, 73% of people are longing this market right now. So without even looking at that prior, we can tell people are buying this market. They love what they see. It's perfect setups for them. And the beautiful thing is we know there's a bunch of orders resting right here. So we know that we're targeting this. So the same way that the dollar index is going to move up and then down, we're going to anticipate a move up and then down. Okay, so where exactly would we get into this? So we know this imbalance was filled. We don't need this. We know this was broken. So here's where it gets interesting, okay? The way institutional trading works, and this is becoming like more known. If none of you know yet, then of course, feel free to sign up on the course to one-on-one with me. I love to teach this stuff. I also love to trade it. What we see here is a huge move through all these highs. So what we see is all this was taken out, which means all these people are now either buying or waiting for their next setup, right? Because what do we know? Resistance becomes support. So people are most likely buying off of this area here. With that in mind too, if we go to a lower time frame, which I'm not going to do right now because I'm trying to make this video as quick as possible, we'll see if the price can come down to it, probably hit off it, and that was a lot of retail buying, and then we come through and take out every single retail position. Now what's beautiful about this is that this right here was another area of support, right? Lots of people trading off this, a lot of people trading off this, maybe people even trading off this. This might have taken them out, but people are probably trading off this because it continued to respect the structure, right? There may be even people looking for a head and shoulders off this. So what we now see is price comes through it, takes out these people, but now we also know that the people retail trading on this on a lower time frame, this looks like huge support, and now we can anticipate that it's huge resistance, right? So this area here is good for them to sell, right? So they know that the potentially dollar is going to be weak, or maybe they don't. Maybe they're still buying this trend line, or they're selling here. So we now have people on both sides of the market. We have people selling here, and we have people buying here. Why is that good for us? Because we know how the market will manipulate these orders perfectly, right? What we see is this area right here. This area is where people are trapped, okay? That is exactly what we can expect. So what we can expect is just like the dollar is probably going to come up through this imbalance, test this last area, and then drop. We can expect the dollar to come up on the dollar CHF to this area where they're going to mitigate their positions, which means they're going to sell out of their positions. This is all taught later on, but I can't explain it all right now. So it'll come through this. So people that are shorting here will get stopped out of their positions. Then we'll see them come right back down and take out all these lows here, right? So we're going to see a trade maybe down to here, maybe to this low. This would be the best potential setup right now. So what we would be doing and aiming for is for everybody trading this trend line to be taken out. Everybody that is trading these shorts right here to be taken out, right? And everybody that has been buying off of this area right here to be taken out as well. So this is my prediction for the upcoming week or a few days. So what we'll see is price come up here, and we're going to get into a short. Whoops, my bad. We're going to get into a short right here, right? Your stop loss usually wants to go above this, but we can always go lower, and your take profit is going to be right below these lows. So down here, right? And what we can actually aim for is if we look, okay, so this is a decent trade. So it's 1 to 2, which is not actually my most liked trade or trading pattern. So I'm going to drop down to another time frame to see if I can find a better entry, right? So we'll go to the 1 hour and see what happened here. So we see the same thing. Now what do we see? We see this little area of imbalance right here. So we know that has to be filled too. So we can aim for something maybe up here, right? For price to come up here. But again, this, I mean, I don't like it too much. Still like the same thing. So we'll drop again to, let's say, the 30-minute. Take a look at this. Okay, I don't see anything really crazy here. Let's just look at the 15. Okay, so I like what we have off the 15. So this area of imbalance we know is going to be filled, right? And what we also know is that people were taken out with this move. Now, this is a little bit more risky. You can, of course, take this trade. Very high probability that it'll hit. Maybe it will go even lower to this area right here. Take out all these lows down here. So you have a 1 to 2. But my trade idea right now, the best one, is this area within the area, right here. So what happened is, you know, this was resistance. We came through. It came down here. Respected it. So people were thinking it's support. They bought, and then we took them all out. So there were people trapped here. So what do we think is going to happen? We want price to come up to this area right here, right? So that's this entry right here. And now our stop loss can be right above these highs, like that, because we know price won't come up here on a shorter time frame. And if it does, then we look for a better setup. And once price hits up here, we can anticipate it to come and finally take out these lows right here and fill this imbalance that we probably have somewhere down here. Yeah, so we have this beautiful imbalance right here that we can pretty much aim to fill. So if we just extend this a little, there we go. As you can see, it's perfect. We can expect it to fill this imbalance, maybe halfway, something like that. So now we have a 1 to 6, right? And this is my general prediction for USD CHF. So stay posted to see what happens with that. Of course, when it does hit, I'll watch it a little bit to see if I really want to get in this trade or not. But this right here is the expectation of price. We might even see price come up here again, test it, create another low here, or maybe even come up here, test it, create a low here to respect this trend line right here, and then come and take this out, getting some people into buys here and getting the shorts out from here, and then we'll see the drop. So most people will be out of the market and they'll be stopped out, right? So as we see a price comes up, price comes down. This is our trade. Dollar index, price comes up, price comes down. Everything lines up, everything's perfect. We have a few lows to take out here. Sorry, we have a few lows to take out here, and we have the imbalance to fill right here and here. So imbalance fill, lows take out. That's an up down. USD CHF, up down. Perfect. So with that in mind, we would want to see the same kind of setups play out on the dollar, right? So I'm currently in a dollar trade because it hit perfectly and everything was respected. So as we can see, we're in an uptrend. That's easy to tell. We know that as retail traders, everybody's looking at pretty much sells. So people were selling in these areas right here, all these equal lows, right? On a lower time frame, we can do the same thing. If I showed you this area right here on a lower time frame, you'll see what I mean exactly. So comes down, comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down, comes up. People are making money here, everyone's happy, and boom, everybody gets taken out. So some people might have actually made some money off this. So lows were like here, so this is our stop loss. Take profit could have been here. You could have made money, here. Maybe you got out because you got scared of this. Maybe your take profit was higher, never got hit, and then market dropped and took you out of your position. Okay? You also probably had people buying here, and then once we broke that, of course, as a retail trader, we probably started selling here off of this beautiful red candle, and guess what? You got stopped right out because this was you selling, and don't tell me you wouldn't be selling here. If you saw this setup right here, you would most likely be selling, especially with this doji. Like, this is or pinbar, whatever we call it. We see this, we assume it's a sell until that happens, and now nobody probably knows this. Everyone's still probably selling this market, thinking this is the high. We're actually going to see what we presume, because the dollar is going down, gold's going to go up. So we're actually aiming for up here. So let's look at where our entry could have been. I'm already in on this trade. I'm already in profit, and my stop loss is at break even, so I'm fine. But we can show you the actual setup. So what we had again is we had all these equal lows right here. So that's what I showed you just now. People trading on buys, people trading on buys, maybe people trading on buys, but they got stopped out. This is what we like. This movement right here is indicative of all these people getting taken out, right? So what we have is people trapped in shorts here. So what we wanted was an entry off of this, right? This is where we were looking for an entry. So we were actually looking at a position like this. So when price came to touch it, our long is here and our take profit was up here, okay? So you can see what happened here. Price wicked it perfectly. Since I didn't like the huge stop loss on this, I actually got in closer. So if we just take a look at this little area here, and we go down to like the 30-minute. No, I was even lower than that. I might have been on the 5-minute. Yeah, I was on the 5-minute. What I saw is this beautiful downtrend that began to form, right? So people are watching this, trying to sell it, most likely on a shorter time frame. People that are more impatient. I'm a very impatient trader too. I like to be in trades, so I'm constantly looking at things, especially on a short time frame. But I get into good trades. And what we see, right? If we just go back, so if we just replay this right here from here-ish, let's just do this. So we know that this is our area that we want to trade from, right? On a higher time frame, this was the area. So what we're doing now is we're waiting for price to come into that area, right? So right now we have no trades. All we're doing is we're watching the market. I was watching this earlier. We had these equal lows start forming. So this was people buying, right? On a lower time frame, people are buying here. They like that. Okay, came back down a little bit. So more people buying. Now more people buying off that little setup, and boom, they get taken out. So all this was just now people getting taken out, right? This is going to be the same setup that you just saw on a much smaller time frame. Boom, we come down. Okay, come down a little. Okay, so we go right above it. So here's where I got in on my trade, right? So we had this move take out these lows, and now we can actually, no, this was not where I got in on it. Sorry, we had never touched this. So at this point, I still haven't gone in on this. Are people probably still buying here? I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're just going to watch this. So we keep respecting it. Okay, so now people are buying here as well. This is, again, equal lows. People are buying here. So lots of people are buying off of this area. And then, okay, we wick it. Okay, and boom, there you go. So now what you also see is this area before that candle, people are buying off this too. This is an equal low. So many people are buying here, trying to catch this low, and then we finally get them out, taken out with the 5-minute, right? And then what do we see? Sorry, I went too far, but price went right above it. And this is my mini setup within that area. So what I did is I took a long off this position right here. So on this wick, I got into the trade. We're just going to extend this a bunch. My stop loss was right below this, right? So it was about 30 pips, but I made it a little lower because price can move and it's gold. So I moved it right below this area right here, just like that. No big deal. That was my wick. And then what I did is we zoomed out, go to the back to the 2 hour where the real setup happened. So that, or was it the 3 hour? Was it the 2 hour? Yeah, it was a 2 hour. So this is where the real setup happened, and we're going to be aiming for these equal highs here, right? But at the same time, what we have is a high that hasn't been touched in a while. So there's a chance that the market actually reverses at this point. So we can look for a first take profit right here. But look at that. That's a 1 to 5 already. So you risk like, I don't know, let's say just 10 lots on this. You're already risking, what is it? Like $3,000 to make a fuck ton more. So if you risk $100 here, you're looking to make 600. If you risk 1,000, you're looking to make 6K. And this is the type of setups I look for. So now we're in this trade. We are now at break even, right? So my stop loss has been now moved to right here. So just a little bit of profit. I don't mind it. Still a positive trade if it comes down here. So now my trade is pretty much this. It's a 0 to 21. I mean, a 1 to 21. Like, I'm not actually risking anything. So I'm just looking for straight profit now. And we should see, as again I showed you prior, the dollar to go up and then hard down. So what can we expect here? We saw the same thing. It went down and now we see the hard up, and we should come take out these highs, just like the dollar is going to take out these lows, just like the US dollar CHF is going to take out these lows. So this one is our last trade. We're not going to look at this one yet because it has nothing to do with these, but AUD USD, same thing we can expect, right? So if gold, we're expecting it to come down and then hard up, then we want Australian dollar, US dollar to do the exact same thing, right? So what do we see here when we first look at it, right? We see the exact same shit repeat. So we have these equal lows, right? Again, we can jump on a lower time frame, so I can show you this. This is people trading in this area. Before we had any of this, boom. This was me as a retail trader going, okay, let me go up. Okay, let me buy again because it's respecting it. Boom, we come out, we grab all these stop losses, and we jump in price. Huge jump in price, right? So what do we see now? Same movement. This is our move through the lows. This is the institutional setup. So this is the area that we want to buy from. We're going to see the drop, and then we're going to see the continuation up, potentially to take out these highs, maybe go as high as this right here. So we're looking to come up to here. This is going to be like the trade we want. So it's going to be a buy right here, stop loss right under this low, come all the way up here. We're already looking at a 1 to 3. That's pretty much perfect. Don't need it to be any higher than that. Of course, we'll still move to break even once we do hit and move up into profit. But this is the beautiful setup. Now, what do we also have here? We have this area of imbalance that now needs to be filled. What else do we see now? We see equal lows starting to form here, right? So the same thing that we saw happen right here with the equal lows where people were buying and then they got stopped out, right there. We're seeing the same thing happen here. We have equal lows. People are going to be buying. They're going to be anticipating this move right here. But what we're going to see is price going to come and take out these lows, get them out of the market because our stop losses are like here-ish, and then we'll see the continuation up. And if you guys don't like this huge stop loss, which I don't think is big at all, but if you don't like it, we can jump down and see what we have on like the 30-minute. So you could also look for trade off this right here. Never got hit, but there is no imbalance there. This is still the better area of imbalance. So this is actually the better trade. Go to the 15-minute. Again, you have a little bit of imbalance here that can be filled. It doesn't have to be, but it can be filled. And you can look for a little trade off that. But I still really like this position right here. So that's going to be the position we are looking at. If we go back to the, I think it was 1 hour. Yeah, the 1 hour is, maybe there was a setup on the 2 hour too. No. But you can see how it looks. Again, you have equal lows on a 2 hour. Somewhere here, maybe up here, maybe these two lows, and we see it get taken out. And then we should continue up. We can anticipate this. So if we go back to the hour, this is exactly what we have. Everything is pretty much lining up as it should. So odd dollar, you can anticipate people are probably buying or selling here, it really doesn't matter, right? If we go to the community outlook, just to see what people are doing, we can look at the Australian dollar, US dollar, right? Yeah, so everybody's selling, right? There are 80% of people are shorting this market right now. Let me see. Let's try and understand why, right? Everyone wants to see this market drop through, right? Because they think this uptrend is done. I honestly don't know why people are trading this down right now. Maybe they see this this thing right here. They want to respect. That's exactly what we're aiming to take out. So everybody's probably trying to sell. Some people are buying on these areas right here. We're going to take out those people. People are going to start selling even more heavily because they think this is going to become resistance. And we're going to pop up, take out all those people. So dollar goes up, then down, which means the US dollar will come up a little bit and then drop hard, which means the gold will get stronger, so it'll come down, which it did. We got into our entry and we took off. So now we're in on this entry right here, literally with minimal drawdown. I'm not sure. It was like 1 to 8. It was pretty much perfect. We're on this setup here. We're on this setup. We're waiting for the setup here. So this is green at this point. We're in the setup. This is where we're waiting for. And AUD USD is going to see the same thing as gold, right? We just haven't hit it yet, which is perfect because if this continues, then we know this will continue. And since we know the community outlook is in one direction, we can expect this to very heavily happen, especially since we're actually beginning a beautiful uptrend here once we broke out of this consolidation area. But that doesn't matter because we're trading off of this area. And we had the same type of trade down here. Of course, I didn't call it out because it doesn't matter, but this was the trade. This is what we pretty much study here. You actually had the retest here, and we took out all these highs, these equal highs right here, right? So if you were with me and you were part of my group at this time, you actually did get in on this trade right here. We took out these lows. Of course, we had a lot more move to the upside, but we took our 1 to 3 and we called it quits because we find the very high likelihood setups where you're going to get 1 to 3 return every time. So it was beautiful, or you're just going to break even, right? With that in mind, since we are anticipating AUD USD to come down and then up, we can expect other Australian dollar pairs to come down and then up again, right? It has nothing to do with the dollar index anymore because we're going to look at AUD NZD. I just really like the setup, right? So we have the same thing happen. I'm not going to walk us through everything again because there's no point, because I either teach this or you're not interested with it and you move on your merry-go way to find other things. Other things in the market work. I have multiple ways of trading. This is one of my favorite. I have one other favorite way. You can trade with indicators. You can trade with retail. You can trade anything and it can work. I just like to trade in a way that's fast. I trade with a little bit of impatience because I like to get in on trades. But I also like beautiful entries where I'm getting 1 to 3, 1 to 5, 1 to 9, 1 to 12, or higher. So what do we have here? The setup was on the 3 hour. That's why I'm going to it. What we can do is let's just replay this. I know I've seen it, and you can call me a hack for seeing it already, but the setup hasn't happened yet, so we can still get in it. I just want to explain what's happening to the market to you guys. So what do you see here? Where are you going with this market, right? I don't know what you do as a trader, but I'm guessing that a lot of you are looking at this right here, maybe this area right here before all that happened. So back here, you saw this. This was your beautiful start of the uptrend. You guys maybe got into buys. We got stopped out. You're fucked now. Comes up again, comes right down. Again, you have a beautiful area of support. I'm sorry. So you're probably buying here again. Of course, remember this is a 3 hours on a much lower time frame. This looks like a beautiful setup. So we see it come up a little bit. I don't know if you take profit. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're profitable here as a retail trader. And you're fine, and right now you're happy, but we have to keep playing it. So you're happy there as a retail trader, and boom, some of the people that didn't take it got stopped out. Then we came back up, potentially more buys here. Now that you have even more buys, because this is a bullish engulfing, so you think this is a beautiful setup to the upside. Everybody is getting in on this trade. Maybe they're getting in late. Maybe they get in down here. Maybe they got in down here and they got super lucky, but most people as retail traders are getting in here. Stop losses maybe here, maybe a little bit below this low, whatever they're trading, trying to aim for these highs. Let's see what happens. I don't know. I'm just predicting. Okay, so they're in profit right now. They're happy. They're happy. They're in profit. Okay. Oh, maybe they took profit. So you see, this is what I mean. As a retail trader, shit can work. Shit can go really well, especially if you know money management. You could have your target up here though, and all of a sudden, you know, you see this huge drop. I don't know exactly what happens. I mean, I don't know exactly what happens, but I don't know. Let's see, you were trading that. Maybe you were trading the opposite way. You had this equal top. Maybe you were scared of actually taking this and you waited to take this. You took this before that candle happened, like that. Took a sell off that, lost. It doesn't matter. All we know is as a retail trader, people are getting stopped out at these areas. And now what do we see happening again, right? We see the same shit happening. These equal lows were taken out, okay? So let's just get out of this. Okay, great. So what do we see here? We see these equal lows were taken out by this move, right? So again, we have this move here that was responsible for all these lows being taken out, and maybe even these lows. So market trends higher, comes down, and now what do you have again? You have people buying off these areas. Maybe this took out some more people, and now people are buying again. Maybe people are afraid of missing out, so they're buying up here. Because everybody right now sees this right here. So they're anticipating this beautiful move up, right? But again, let's look at our odd USD. We're anticipating a down into an up, right? Of course, they don't have to correlate because NZD could act completely differently in relation to the dollar. But we know that there's going to be some kind of down move before the up move, right? Why is that important? We see this. All these equal lows are signifying a lot of people in trades like this, most likely. Maybe up to here, maybe even higher since it's an uptrend with their stop losses right below these lows right here, right? That's a very normal thing. Maybe their stop losses were prior on this, right below them, and now they've been stopped out. But most people are probably, as a retail trader, trading like this. If we go look at the community outlook for odd NZD, I haven't looked at this, but let's see. A lot of people are shorting. So, what does that mean to us? I mean, it's not really important, but let's say everyone's shorting or buying, right? There's still people buying here, and then there's also people shorting. So people are trying to catch the top here. So here's what we have happening. We have people doing this, right? And we also have people doing this, right? People that got into the trade here or trying to get into it. So they're probably already in it. They're something like that. And they're targeting all the way down here because they think we're in a downtrend and we're going to break these highs, right? I mean, these lows because it's a downtrend. So you have both sides now, right? As a retail trader, this is normal. Maybe you'll get profitable. Maybe you won't. I don't like this because it's 50-50 in my book. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's say this is true right now, right? So we have these positions right here, and we have these positions right here. If you didn't get stopped out with this, so why is this so interesting to me? Because I see this move here got rid of these people, right? So what can we anticipate? Same thing again, guys. This is what I teach over and over again, and you can make tons of money doing this. We have this. So we're anticipating actually, just like odd USD is probably going to have a pullback to a hard uptrend, we're anticipating a pullback, right, to this area, and then the uptrend. This is why you never trade an actual trend line. Because trends are respected, trend lines are not. Trend lines can always fit any trend, right? Because imagine this does come down here and then come up. Guess what? Now our trend line is just this, right? It's normal. As a retail trader, that's fine. It's just this one never touched it, right? But at this point, this is the trend line. Then this becomes a trend line. Then this could be a trend line. Anything can be a trend line. That's why you don't trade trend lines. You trade what your eyes see. We see the higher highs, the lower lows, okay? This would still be a lower low. We'd still be an uptrend. But people are shorting. So these people that are shorting here have their stop losses above these equal highs. We hit this. They're in profit. They're happy. But they're aiming for these lows here. Because as a downtrend, they're anticipating something like this, right? They're anticipating the movements to go down, to come down, up, up, down, up, down, through these lows. Maybe this down was even lower, right? All the way like that and continue. What are we anticipating? The opposite. We are anticipating it to come down and then hard up to take out all the highs that exist here and here. Right? So these are highs that exist too. This is the main point though, right here. Because there's people selling off this. So there's people selling here and buying here. What's going to happen? we're going to see price come down here, take out all these people. All these people here will be taken out of the market. They won't be able to buy anymore unless they took their profit here, which many people don't do because they have a fear of missing out, right? So we come down, we take out these people. Banks, the big banks like Citi or whatever, or JP or GS, mitigate the shorts they had here, right here, and take the market much higher. So then they can be in clear and straight profit. Why is this move highly anticipated, right? Think about this for a second. First of all, we do have the small little area of imbalance here, so we know it has to be filled, or it doesn't have to be, but very highly likely that it will be filled. We have this move here, which we can anticipate was the banks taking people out of positions here, and now coming down to mitigate them. And once they do mitigate those positions, why would they want to take the market lower when there's nobody to take out? Think about this. There might be people buying here, and there might have been some buyers here, but for the most part, all the buyers were either here, 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 or here. So what are they going to do? They're going to take out the maximum number of buyers here, mitigate their sell positions because they want to take the market higher, and then take the market higher through these highs to take out all the people that are stop loss here and potentially here, right? So our actual important trade off the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, is actually going to be a long position off of this area with the stop loss right below that low. I'll take profit right above these highs. So look what's interesting about this. If price did want to come up and then test this again, we've already made 3.4 to 1. But we're anticipating to go even higher. So we can go up to this area right here. So that's another little block. There's a chance that we just go off that. And there's a chance we continue higher, right? Your first take profit can be right here. Second take profit here. Third up here. But this is already a 1 to 3. So your $100, your $1,000, your $10,000, your $100,000 risk already garners you a fuck ton more profit than any of the trades you possibly could have found on maybe small support levels, support resistance levels, or trend lines. That's why you never trade them. Use your eyes. This is an art, but it's also it's technical, it's a science, and it's somewhat of an art. That's why people say it, because you really can find your own way to trade. And this isn't to diss retail or anything like that, but this is the way I trade, this is the way I teach my students to trade, and this is the way my investment firm, or at least what I like to call my investment firm, makes money, right? So this is the other thing we're expecting. Down move to the up move. Down move to the up move. Australian pairs, that's what we can expect. Gold already hit. Down move to the up move. USD CHF should do the opposite, right? The opposite, exactly. Up to the down. Not always, because gold can react differently to the dollar, and the Swiss franc can react differently to the dollar. But highly likely, this is our anticipated move, which all plays out with the dollar and what we have here. And something interesting that I want to tell you guys is that, the dollar still trades the same way. I mean, the dollar index with, lows being taken out or whatnot, but structure likes to be respected a lot more. So we can expect the structure to be respected. This equilibrium was broken. Now we can expect it to stay under it. If anything, this might come as high as this equilibrium right here. Maybe take out some people that were selling here, right? And then we see the down move. So dollar index, up to down move. Dollar, up to down move. Not the dollar, or the opposite of the dollar, down to up move, which we're already in, which we're already profitable, where we're already break even. Same thing here, down move to the up move. And same thing here, down move to the up move. With all these areas to be filled, right? So like this area right here needs to be filled. There you go. And if you want to see something even more beautiful, we can grab our fibs. This is all taught usually. Go to this high right here, and you can see this area is just under this 80%. So this area is very highly likely to be filled because there's a lot more, if you see this, lows right here to be taken out. So what we have at this point is lows that need to be taken out here, lows that are going to be taken out here, and then there's no more really big lows to be taken out because of this candle here. And this candle is what we like to trade off. And that's going to be our beautiful trade. That takes out most of the community, screws the outlook of them, and gets us into mad profits with just 1 to 3, 1 to 6, and whatever it is. In my other things, I usually teach things like this, which is a lot more complicated, but it makes a lot of sense once you get into it. But these are the general setups. So I wish you guys luck in your trading, and that's what you guys can look for the upcoming week. Thanks.